A very, very warm good evening. This is Anwar Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is Friday, July the 11th, 2025. And it's another Indian football discussion on a day that, the Indian Super League and the future of the Indian Super League maybe was put in jeopardy, something that I've warned for a while. I'll be very, very honest. I think I was the only one who's warned. A lot of people told me, no. Whatever happens, the ISL will always be played. Today, FSDL formally sent a letter to the ISL teams stating that that they're not sure because the MRA runs out at the end of the year. So, what to say? I've been warning about this for a while, and nobody in the Indian football ecosystem wanted to hear it. I'll be very, very clear. And as Zorawa says, 1 minute of silence for ISL. It's a sad reality of things. It's a sad reality of people not really bothering about what is happening around them. I think that is what should be a concerning fact to a lot of people. But it's a fact to me that people didn't really care about the situation. And this is one thing which I still don't understand is this is your job, this is your role. I think you should be bothered more about it. And it is very, very sad. And if you want to go through it, yes, FSDL is the one sending out the letter. What else to say? Let's wait and see what happens. And let's talk about things. RIP ISL, I don't care where you start this season or get temporarily suspended because you are useless. Our club, neither our national is doing some good work. All are pathetic. Pranata, it's easy to say, this is bad, that is bad, this is not good, this is whatever. The ISL is surely not the perfect league that whoever wanted it. But it did give Indian football a certain level of structure. It did improve the infrastructure. It did improve the broadcast. It's just that I guess the off-field issues improved rather than the on-field things. And that is something of a reality which needs to be looked at down the road. And it is something. I don't know where this whole thing will go, right? Hi, Blue. Sadly, what you were talking for months finally come. Yeah, Blue, it's not months, it's years. I saw an interesting tweet from Shaggy a little while ago. 1 second, let me just have a look at it. What Shaggy replied to what I had written earlier. So I had written, Reliance today via FSDL informed ISL clubs that given the unclear future of the MRA with AIFF, they're not proceeding with the league and have put everything on hold. As I said weeks ago, no ISL if things aren't sorted out, but still others said it's on, right? And Shaggy, thanks for that, for the reply. And I'll just wait, let me find, I've got so many comments on that. Where is the Shaggy comment? Here's the Shaggy comment. When we were celebrating SAF back in 2003 in Bengaluru, I remember Arunfoot raising this before anyone, but none in Indian football took him seriously. I feel it was the right time to pressurize. Now we are staring at the barrel of a loaded gun. Yeah. Shaggy, very well said. And I totally agree with you on this one, because people were not willing to accept at the time the reality that we are in a cycle, right? And in any cycle of this kind, in any league of this kind, you don't allow the contract to run down till the last moment, right? And to me, over the last 34 months, right? It was September 2022 that the new AIFF came in. There was a lot of talk. Oh, you know what? We'll bring a lot of money. Oh, we will do this. Oh, we'll do that. This will happen. That will happen. None of that actually factually has happened, right? So therefore, for me, I think the figure 500 crores was put in, right? So the reality is for me that whatever was talked about, was discussed, is nice. But the reality of where we are, do we want to accept reality? Do we also pragmatically, realistically want to progress and move ahead? Yeah. So that's the reality. We have seen Helsinki Cup finals. Tomorrow is the final. Kunal Dash, I honestly don't care. Right? It is good for the boys. Any exposure in Europe is good exposure. But these, as I've explained multiple times, are grassroots tournaments. Most probably they're going to win it as well. And it shows you how uninformed people are about these things, about these tournaments that happen in Europe in the summer. And yeah, anyway, let's not I don't want to get into details because it's just ridiculous. Right. Practically, what are our best options? Well, at the moment we don't have, because the Supreme Court is most probably going to make it complicated, and most probably going to say, oh, you know, the league has to be run by the AIFF, which shows you, with all due respect, that the gentlemen deciding these facts at the Supreme Court level do not understand how football governance works. Because why do I say that? Across the world, the top tier national league is not run by the federation. Fact, right? It's not something that I'm saying out of the blue. That is factually true. So therefore, yeah, I guess we should understand even bad work is better than null. Yeah, that's also true. That is also true. We have, I go back to 1995 when a certain Sepp Blatter, as the secretary of FIFA, came to India and asked, why don't you have a national league? And the Indian football setup at the time proudly told him, oh, we have the Duran Cup, oh, we have the IFF Shield, oh, we have the Rovers Cup, oh, we've got all these other tournaments, oh, and on top of that, we've got our local leagues. You know? So to me, yeah, what else to say? Right? What else is there to say? Without MRA, I doubt even I-League and IWPL can happen. Ayush, that's a very valid question. And that's a very valid point that you're raising. Yes, that danger, in my opinion, is there, that if we do not do what is needed in the next few weeks, then it could be a situation in which there might be no league happening in India. Yes, at the top level, nothing. And if I see how the Duran Cup at the moment is being put together, sorry, you're just doing it for the sake, you know. You said, Indonesia is coming with the army. Oh, now Malaysia is coming with the army. So how? No, don't announce teams. Only when you have at 100% confirmation, do it. Right? Why are East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, and Mohammedan playing? Because their Maidan grounds stand on army land. That is the only reason why they're taking part. Mohun Bagan has proudly sold to the army, said, oh, you know what, only allow domestic players in the tournament. Why? To reduce cost. Not because to give Indian players a chance. All of these constructor stories, all of these guys are doing it. It is a systematic failure of Indian football that most of these people who are involved should not be involved. They are parasites living of Indian football. Let's call all of these people out. They are harming Indian football day in and day out. They're not doing anything for Indian football. They sell and tell you they do. No, rather don't do it. Right? Without Abu Dhabi, we will lose by double digit in women Asian Cup due to no match sharpness. We will most probably, we can lose double digit even with the IWL. So that's the first thing that you need to recognize. If we're playing teams like North Korea, Japan, right? I just say Odisha FC against Urawa Red Diamonds ladies, 0-17, right? That is the gulf. The gulf from Mongolia to India is the gulf from India to the top teams in Asian women. People are fantasizing about the Women's World Cup. We are, along with Bangladesh, the weakest team in that setup, right? Reality check. No reality check. Hi, Kumar. Son Eminem performing well in Helsinki, but now the Gothia Cup will also start wishing well to Eminem for and teams of India do good in world largest youth tournament. It has no value. But anyway, yeah, all the best. What would you say to people like Ranjit and Shajina, the known saviors who've broken the system completely? Renil, I would only simply say, guys, I told you so. I told you at Football House in 2022 what will happen. And you guys still went ahead and made this happen. It is your fault. You know there were other people in the room, and the other people who were in the room also now know I've told them on the face, look at what has happened. And I don't care. I will tell them on the face the next time I meet them. You are amongst the reasons why we are in this mess. Because you guys, don't understand football. Whatever you tell me, you're fooling the system, you're scamming the system. You're not doing anything for the system. Yeah? Oh, now 500 crore promised by Lucian guy Shaji and Kalyan should be thrown into the Paralympics. Yep, Kumar. AIFF made a plan. I really hope this whole plan is implemented smoothly without any drama, which is usual in Indian football, so that our women team go on best way and with confidence for Asia Cup. Shanata, do you understand? Does everyone that even with the best of plans that these guys supposedly are creating, with this approach, that approach, whatever approach that they're taking, that we are playing teams of a level who are of a different standard? Do we understand? Does everybody? I know, listen, you saw, I don't know if you've seen the video. I've actually posted it separately this week because, people were highlighting it on Twitter, and then I did post my emotional reaction on the women's team qualifying. I'm very happy about it. But I also know that we're going to play teams which are out of our league. And this so-called best way of preparation, the preparations don't start today. These preparations would have started a few years ago, right? Look at the way we played against Thailand. Don't forget that, So, yeah, that's the reality. If all AIFF plan is implemented, there's a huge chance of India going in Women's World Cup with much improved game. And Women's World Cup, again, don't talk about the Women's World Cup. Realize where we are, right? Where we are, we're in the weakest spot, and realize that. You just see Arvi's tweet about Casey doing things on Anwar's case and relegation case. Hannibal, he's been doing himself stuff. He's doing stuff. That guy is doing stuff. Listen, the Anwar Ali case, I have said there are videos about it very, very clearly. What should have happened? Very open and shut case. Relegation, there is no case. There is no case, right? If these two teams are allowed to stay in the league, then the I League should not be played. Because it is a shame on the AIFF of breaking its own pre-tournament rules. Very simple. We need to understand that these guys are doing whatever they're doing only out of self-interest. They're not doing it for Indian football. They've never done it, you know. Let's see. You're right. First, they should accept that they are at fault, and we, as fans, should also accept that we fall for false news. So early legit people are spreading ISIL will happen, etc., as Ambani personally told. Blue, I've said what I have heard from friends. I'm not talking about colleagues or contacts. I'm talking friends who work in the Reliance ecospace, right? I can only say what I have explained to you, what could happen from my own understanding and logic. I've not done any rocket science with what I've said. I've just simply explained on multiple videos or multiple lives what my basic understanding of football is. And yes, what I'm going to say now might be sounding arrogant, but I feel sometimes in Indian football, we are surrounded by idiots who don't understand a thing about football and sports and governance. We are surrounded by people who are actually incompetent, right? And it is about power. It is about ego. It is not about Indian football. The failure of Indian football is also linked to a number of people involved in Indian football over years. So that's the reality. We might see the null year of Indian football at the start of the NFL craze. Yeah. 2025 might be 1995. Yeah. Back to the future. That's what's happening. ISL ki nahi hobe SGT at the moment. No, I said that months ago. The ISL is not happening. Your thoughts on Minerva kids winning against the Finnish club 5-0. They will play against the Iceland club next. Mr. Wood has been saying on YouTube that these are top clubs in Finland, Iceland. Rohit, so what? Is it? Are they? Do you think that if we, even with our best of kids, play Finnish and Icelandic clubs, we would be winning by these margins? Use your mind. Use your brain. And that says it all. I've said, go to the real tournaments. If an Indian club academy goes to the big international tournaments, right? So what to say? I think people are trying hard to make Shahji and Bajaj to get into the system. That happens to be worse than Kalyan's regime. And let's let them do what they want. And again, I've given up on some of these people, on some of their approaches. It makes no sense. Yeah, that Mohun Bagan one is absolutely straightforward. They don't want to bring foreigners at the moment. Simple logic, but can't be honest. Had to spin it with Indian football's game time, etc. Exactly, Blue. I think at this moment in time, as we speak, there is a risk of Mohun Bagan and FC Goa both might not be playing ACL2 qualifiers and the ACL competition. Boris finally written a piece blaming the AIFF for this MRA fiasco. Uchut, sorry, with all due respect to Boria Mujumdar, who is a senior sports journalist, right? It is agenda driven by all these guys, right? Let them write the truth what is happening. They will not. Boria knows better or should know better. And if he doesn't, and this is another realization. A lot of these journalists will make you think on Twitter that they know what is happening and they've not had a clue. So what to say. When our women's team qualified for the AFC Women's Asian Cup, I really thought that luck would turn around, and then this happened. Hope the Messiahs are happy. Udipto, I said on that day, watch, I think the final 10-15 minutes, I said somewhere down the road, let's celebrate July the 5th. Let's celebrate that day. Let's celebrate the success of the team, because reality will strike us very, very quickly. Right? Indian football is where Indian football is. Right? And that is not changing. So therefore, that is a reality that we all need to be content with, happy with, because nothing has changed. So for me, that's a reality, and therefore we will have to live with that reality. I heard Mohun Bagan requested for no foreign players in Donald Cup. Yes, SCGT, as I said, Mohun Bagan said it, but why? Because not to having to call on their foreigners to come in, not to pay salaries. Right? 21 plus minutes. Just a quick reminder, everyone who are on this live, or maybe you're watching afterwards, if you're liking the conversation, if you're liking what we are talking about, discussing about, do leave a like behind. 14 likes so far. Thank you very much. Share it with other people to join in, to watch, to listen, because this is the most honest and most truthful platform that there is around on Indian football. I'll give you only facts, and when I don't know, I will tell you I do not know. If you haven't, you're listening, you're liking it, subscribe to the channel. We're at 2,758 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. And if you're new, ask your questions, get involved in the conversations. And again, also do watch the shorter videos that I make or try and make on a regular basis to remake something on the Bengal Super League, how it is a chance potentially for Bengal football if football spreads across the state. AIFF needing to support the women's national team. My emotional reaction, spread that. It's a nice little short clip of my reaction and other things. Do watch the short videos. And as always, thank you very much for your support. AIFF plans for the women's national team. Don't think it will be enough when you face North Korea, China, Japan. Yeah, Ochut, it sounds nice, but it's the max they can do. But my question would be, what can they afford, what they can't afford? So let's see. According to latest reports, four ISL clubs are shutting down. In fact, they were planning to shut shop earlier and were planning to do a force majeure and terminate players and staff contracts, but were waiting for ISL confirmation. So rather, the likelihood is what I've said a while back: if the ISL shuts down, if there is no clarity on football at senior professional Indian level, we could see up to 20-25 clubs shutting down. So that's what we're talking about. So therefore, we will have to wait and see. Right? So that's the danger. Let's be honest, it's the AIFF we're talking about. In some way, they'll manage to screw up the promised friendlies for the Indian women's football team. Most probably, they'll play some Kolkata clubs and call it a day. Udipto, calling on friendlies, is a... let's see what happens. I also think, for example, for us at this moment in time, a friendly series with Bangladesh is not bad. Right, because we have to play, playing club, the 7-8 matches they're saying they want to play clubs, for me makes no sense. Right? Where's the money to run the system by AIFF, all the plans for women's football team and also ecosystem? Kumar, it's not there. 50 crores will be gone. Ranjit Bajaj fanboys defend Delhi FC relegation case by saying that AIFF wants to increase number of teams in I-League. AIFF does not want to increase the teams in I-League. If they want to, they could have done it in the last few years. Right? You don't do it at the end of the season. If you want to increase it, I need to now fix and say, listen, in 2025, 2026, let's say there is going to be only 1 relegation and 3 promotions, for example. This way I can increase it. I do not kill relegation. I mean, it's funny that the people are saying, oh, we need a relegation in the ISL, are saying we don't want a relegation in the I-League. This is the irony of Indian football in today's world. East Bengal fans are celebrating ISL suspension. Some of them are saying that Mohun will shut down if IFL shuts down, and that East Bengal will be the only club to rule Bengal football. So rather, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are in the same boat. Do you think that if Mr. Goenka pulls out, which is a potential, after today, it is a possibility. Do you think that Imami will stay? That Imami will say, oh, you know what? We stay back. We remain in this system. We are going to, what was said earlier, we would go into pre-NFL days, right? To be honest, before tweeting, Mr. Vadat should first say why Anwar Ali's lawyer locked himself in toilet every time when hearing comes and why they are fighting relegation. No logic. Blue, he should just simply say the Anwar Ali and he broke the contract. I don't want to hear more. And then let's see what they do. If he's claiming what he's claiming, how did the appeals committee make those decisions against Interkashi? Very simple question. And if he has a point that Kalyan did this, Kalyan did that, then have the guts, go to CAS, spend the money on CAS, if you believe you're right. Because CAS will not tolerate this BS which is happening. Which are the big international tournaments where our club should go on playing? Rohit, they will not be invited. Big international youth tournaments with top clubs, let's say from Europe, right? Top clubs from around the world. We're not invited Indian team. Because it's not I come and I want to participate. These are open tournaments. Everyone can participate. Do you think that the Dallas Cap in Texas in the US would take an Indian club, an Indian national team? No. Do you think there's an under-19 tournament which happens in Germany, indoor tournament, which has big German teams and European clubs, Man United, Barca, Man City, PSG, and all these teams take part? I think it's called the Mercedes Cup, if I'm not wrong. No, Indian club will be invited to them. Listen, the Gothia Cup used to be, or the Mayor's Cup used to be Cops in Scandinavia, where the IFA Mayor's 11 from Kolkata used to go in the 80s and 90s. So, yeah. Bore was Igor Stimoch's best image enhancer after every losing match. Oops. Spot on, sir. No matter what Ranjivajan and his fans say, these legacy tournaments has lost their values. Even the so-called big teams playing in these tournaments use their regional academy teams. The so-called big teams, where are the big teams? I mean, yeah. Any instance you had bad experience working football project that too with politician and instance in India? Murali, there are of course instances, and it's not always politician. I think mostly it's the owners, it's the guys who have the money who are the problem, not the league. How do you see people praising whenever victory? Good, let them praise it. Then it shows how much they understand or don't understand football. I wonder under whom the most number of clubs shut down. Praful earned. Oh my God. Udipta, the question is not shutting down, not shutting down. There are different reasons, right? Some of them will blame the AIFF in the past. For example, I think my favorite example is Mahindra United. Mahindra United blamed the system for them shutting down their team in 2010. But to me, till this date, I would love to have a conversation with Anand Mahindra and say, 15 years later, Mr. Mahindra, you shut it down, not because of the AIFF, because you were not willing to invest and take the plunge and put the money into the system which was needed to grow Mahindra United to the next level. That is the reality. That's the reality. After seeing this chaos, will youngsters dream representing India compared to China government? They set target how to compete against the world against Vision 2047. Murali, some kids will dream, some will not. I don't know. Yeah. Italy qualified for the Cricket World Cup before FIFA World Cup. Okay. Not aware of that, to be honest. The reason almost all East Bengal fans hate ISL is because they weren't successful. In fact, many East Bengal I have talked to say that very thing that ISL conspires against East Bengal and favors Mohun Bagan and other ISL clubs. Zoravar, I've heard this, and to me it's very, very simple. When East Bengal came in, and I repeat that, I said that, East Bengal went and came to the ISL in 2020. They were not ready for it, right? They were not structurally organized to say, hey, listen, we're coming to the ISL. Yeah? You know? And I remember I said at the time also that for me, if East Bengal is smart, maybe they delay it by a year or two, maybe they win the I-League and then get into the ISL. East Bengal were desperate to get into the ISL because why? Because Mohun Bagan won it. Was it the right move? Was it the right step? To me, no. At the time, East Bengal were not ready. East Bengal, even today, is not ready. East Bengal's only thing which has been over the last 5 years is they now have access to money. They're spending ridiculous amounts of money. But are you really building a club? Are you really building a team? No. That is what East Bengal should be doing. Mohun Bagan, the success, is built on Atletico de Kolkata. That's also what Mohun Bagan fans have to accept. They have taken over the structure of Mr. Goenka. That is what the success is. If you were talking about the old Mohun Bagan, it would be the same. East Bengal, Mohun Bagan without money are Mohammedan Sporting. Let's be very, very clear. That's a sad reality. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan without their financial investors are nothing else than a Mohammedan Sporting. Why not have Indian men versus women as a match with top male and female players along with Bollywood and South superstars? I think this will generate fan followers. Where does this come from, Origin? No, I don't think it will. And why would they? Bollywood and South stars in Kolkata? Well, I don't know. Oh, by the way, we're forgetting Banhammer, which will happen. Oh, yeah, that's another one, Blue. That's, I guess the outside world said, listen, do your own things, don't bother us, opt out. It's not the big tournament, which mid-level tournament should never play, and they have to start somewhere to challenge the youth teams to grow. Rohit, they will not play that now because then they will lose. The 5-0s, the 7-0s they're winning, then they will go out there and lose. This is a PR. If you don't want to buy this is a PR story. Oh, we're going to Europe. We're beating the Europeans. Right? This is a PR story to gather money, to scam people. This is a scam process, no? No, take it. Apart from our court interference of what the area, you think they're misunderstood. Everything. It's not their involvement. So, anyway. But the Italy have qualified the World Cup cricket would man miss out on 4th FIFA Football World Cup. Or who cares who qualifies for a cricket World Cup or not? Does anyone in Italy care? I don't think so. Does any football academy earn money by developing players? No, Hannibal, not in an Indian sense. Italy nation's cricket team, 9 out of 11 players out of Indians in Pakistan, not only 2 and they're both over 30. Yeah. Again, it's so rather the Cricket World Cup, by expanding it, becomes an diaspora, South Asian diaspora tournament. What is up that Rohit guy investing in Cambodian league? What's stopping from investing in India? Hannibal, he used to invest. Huh? He used to be the owner of Chennai City FC. They even won the I-League. But then, didn't pay money here, there, everywhere. People still, he owes money. Hasn't paid them. It's rather invested in another league. And that is being supported. That is the question that all these so-called people should be asking. Do you think our foundation have not strengthened over the years? Instead, we make them one match superstar? Of course not, Murali. Do you think Uzbekistan and Jordan exceed everyone's expectation from World Cup? Uzbekistan, no, because Uzbekistan should have qualified for a World Cup over the last 30 years. Jordan, yes. I don't see any benefits for Indian football investing in Cambodia and he's getting praises. Hannibal, because people don't know, no? It's yeah, what to say. The only person who was saying about the ISL shutdown possibility from the beginning, but no one wanted to accept the reality whenever you said in last past year has been true. Manolo, welcome back. I've tried to stick to what I say. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I've said that, right? But this is something which is yeah. If anyone wants to listen, please listen, right? Someone was asking me day before yesterday, I said, you do all of this and blah, blah, you spend your time create a channel, whatever. I said, yeah, I like doing this. I'd rather, with 31, 32 people at this moment in time, thank you for being here. If it was 100, if it was 1,000, if it was 10,000, I'm fine with it as well. But I will not change my tune. No? I will say what I think is right. And if there are things that I know which I shouldn't speak about, I will not speak about. Right? I know a lot. That the ISL has not been working on anything for the last 3 months. Why have I been saying that the ISL is not going to run? Why have I been saying that if the ISL runs, it will only start earliest in November? It shows you that a lot of people are just simply speculating on social media. They're speculating as content creators that they don't know. And if you don't know, don't speculate. So to me, yeah, that's the reality. Right? Hi, Pranjal. I said, no, just like you said, haha. Yeah, I do know a little bit about football, and I've spoken about it, and therefore, yeah, these are brutal realities, and people don't want to listen to it. That's the reality, no. How do you see India future in tennis over the years? Murali, it's gotten worse, no. I mean, 25 years ago, India had the best double pairing in Leander and Mahesh, top player in Sania Mirza. Where is that? Right. I have a question. Do you believe ISL favors Mohun Supergiant and another does AFC favor Qatar? Ranjan, you asking this is already a shameful thing. No. Right? And then you want to say, oh, UEFA favors Real Madrid and FIFA favors them. If you want to, you can construct all of these things if you want to. One thing which fans don't know or social media influencers don't know. Murali, for example, that the ISL will shut down. Because I had conversations 2 years ago with people in Reliance and they said, it's slowly getting time to be speaking about this, but no one in the AIFF seems to be wanting to speak about it. So I knew. We had the conversation in Bengaluru about this. I had the conversation in Bengaluru with people about this. Exactly around this time, a week earlier, 2 years ago, seeing. Sarwar, are you sure if the ASP is made up of English and Australian or Indians? I don't know. So I'm not going to get into Italian cricket. Why would the Finnish and Iceland clubs play against Minerva and lose 5-0? What is it? Is in it for them? What is their thought process to have an Indian team come and win and get negative PR for themselves? Rohit, they don't care about the PR. It is a grassroots football tournament. See, this is the problem. You go with an Indian mindset into these things. They don't care. They just want to play football. And if whoever wins, doesn't matter. Right? Are they playing their best team? No, they're not playing their best teams. Are they giving all the kids the chance? Yes, because why? This for them is this is a mid-season tournament. The Scandinavian countries, the season runs from January to December. So this is a mid-season competition for these kids. They're off. Some kids might be on holiday. The best might not be there. Their best might not be even playing. Do you know who they're playing? Why they're playing? No, they're not playing their best. If an Indian team goes to Finland to win a tournament, then you know something is wrong. Right? What other sports do you consider even if we won a lift podium? No, we don't care what other sports are contributing. Munali, if you ask me about sports, we should be speaking about team sports. We should be speaking basketball. We should be speaking handball. We should be speaking volleyball. We should be speaking individual sports about tennis, about badminton, table tennis. Yeah, there are multiple sports. Benefit of playing foreign leagues are clearly been seen in the case of the women's team. Individual players like Manisha Kalyan are better than Indian men's players. Zara, not her, even Shomya. Even as long as Shomya was fit, she was a better player. Period. And that is a fact, a reality. Your thoughts on Mohammad Supergiant writing to AIFF regarding no foreigners in Duran Cup? No, they're trying to save cost. As long as the foreigners don't arrive, I'm very interested to see why are players suddenly who were supposed to stay in the ISL signing for other teams? Why did Jimenez suddenly sign in Poland for very simple. The famous Indian football YouTuber, some random Baba who mostly covers Premier League, spreads the propaganda of supporting Indian because they don't win. Hannibal, I don't, I give Shashwat or Jog Baba, as you know him, credit for what he does. Maybe it's worth for me and him having a conversation about this, and maybe he would change his opinion, because I come from a different viewpoint. I've said this, right? That when you're losing, so yeah. How do you see country involved in conflict getting banned by FIFA, like Russia and World Currency? Now with yours, on what basis fear by country apart from players or association with mistake? Mohun Ali, that's a question for FIFA to answer or something. I think Russia is a different. Russia, again, has its own issues. If you want to go at about country this, that, everything, if you want to put the US in, there's a lot of countries who you can put on that list. Fans are still saying this is a pressure tactics by officials against AIFF to accept the new deal. No, it's not. Manolo. It is what is the where is the pressure tactics? So to me, fans don't fans be fans, enjoy watching football. And I say this to some content creators as well. A woman tennis player was shot dead by her father because she was earning money while her father was unemployed and was made fun to rely on his daughter for money. And sad, tragic, terrible case in Gurgaon. Dada, what about Anwar case? Clarify Bajaj's tweet on Kalyan. Biswajit, he is implying that Kalyan will enforce the AIFF to take decisions against him. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't care how many tournaments we never won. The question should be how many players from the team actually end up in national team or play outside India. No, Manolo, not even national team. I would ask the question, how many play abroad? And are you able to produce players who are better level players than what we have currently? Right? So that's the reality. Somdev, Environment clearly explained 4 or 5 years ago how AITA went out of their way to discourage players they don't support. See, Rohit, tennis is a different thing than any other sport in that way. Again, if you can raise your own money, you can travel around the world, and whenever you're good, an AITA or whoever is there will take you in, and they will, they will use you for their own purposes. So it's on you. What about Helsinki Cup, according to you? Indian Football Scout, nice grassroots football tournament, nothing more, nothing else. Bajaj knows how to marketing his players. Yeah, that's very true. But not producing quality. I'm not thinking through an Indian mindset. I'm just asking questions to figure out how these Indians and European clubs think in terms of developing their players and clubs. Rohit, no, you're not. Because the European players are not playing these tournaments to develop their players. It's just fun tournaments. I don't know why people don't understand it, that in Europe you don't play, and this time if you want to develop players, you have a season. These are summer tournaments. If you don't understand that, you should not be working in football. Sorry. Should not be doing anything. These tournaments in Europe, I've had teams coming to Remscheid to play from FIFA, from the German Football Academy. Right? So there is no value in this. There is no thought process in this. These are fun tournaments. Please understand that. And yeah, when a player federation didn't commit mistake, what basis they are banning is politics, angle, FIFA consider what these things are controlled as a federation player can give clarity. Morali, ask that to FIFA. Really, it's I don't know about tennis, but was Leander Pace and much really global level stars? Yes, Hannibal. They not only were, they are. You think more women's footballers will go to Europe? So I hope so. But did we see many footballers with the potential to go to Europe in this tournament? Jesus mentioned uncertainty of Indian football and also mentioned importance of playing regularly, clearly indicates blue, 100%. He has understood that we are in a situation where we cannot guarantee the league. The players, some of them will want to come to India for the contracts. Some teams have been building teams. Yes, that's also true. Let's be very clear. But on the other side, we need to be very, very honest about it. Bajaj today said on X that job is with appeals committee whole day and influencing Anwar Ali and relegation decision. Why is the person saying that who seems to have influenced the cases against Intakashi? Right? At the end, what will happen? Goku, maybe nothing. Maybe today was the day, 11th of July 2025. The end of the Indian Super League. Maybe today was that day. Praful Patel brought ISL, Chobe shut it down. It could happen. I agree with Dr. Baba. Why should fans support something when they get nothing in return aside humiliation and stress? So rather, then you have not understood what being a football fan is. Ask. I would ask this to Shashwat if I get to speak to him. Were you supporting Chelsea, not in the last 6 months, but over those last 2-3 years, when Chelsea was not Chelsea, with all the problems of the Abramovich ownership and Tuchel going this, that, everything? They won the Champions League, whatever. Right? A national team is not something for you to choose. Either you say you are an Indian, then you support the Indian national team. If you tell me you do not support the Indian national football team, and I say this about anybody and everybody, especially in failure, I will call you anti-national. A real anti-national, whatever the others claim, that's all BS. This is my proof of if you are really supporting India or not. If you are not supporting the team in the worst of times, you should not be coming when the team is being successful and celebrating. Right? This is what glory hunters are. If you want to be a real fan, if you want to be part of success, you have to be part of failure as well. It's not one-way street. I'm wondering, like Minerva played so many matches abroad with their players and none of them scouted by other teams and academies. Goku, because they're playing against teams who are not scouting. They're playing these tournaments for fun. And who's going to take players? Not junior players can't be transferred anyway, right? IW is becoming inflated like assets of women players who will not go abroad. Manolo, very well said. And we're bringing in foreigners for key positions. We're doing exactly the same mistakes we have done in the NFL, in the I-League, in the ISL. We're doing in the IWL as well. I even was talking during now with the women's Euros happening at the moment, that in the women's game, they're doing the same mistakes as in the men's game. People are celebrating that the first 1 million transfer is happening in European club football in women's. And that's not good. Indians already have stressful lives. Sports should be a means to remove that, only to be more stressed. So now, sports is not a one-way street. Supporting your team is not one-way street. Everyone has stressful lives anywhere in the world. No, sorry, I can't agree with that on you. So, yeah. Do you think Wimbledon still dream for India? Murali, Wimbledon is a dream for everybody who likes to play tennis. Hey, Rachit, it's nice to see you again as well. Long time. How are you doing? I hope everything is good. Lovely photo that you have in there. Stylish. Is Havas joining national team? Arnav, I don't know who's joining whom. Havas is one of the candidates or one of the people who have applied, and that is in public domain. But is he going to get it? I don't know. Drogba still supports Chelsea even after they were running. Yeah. If you're not supporting the team, at worst, you don't deserve to congratulate him at the best. Yeah. And celebrate, right? You know, someone said the US should be banned in FIFA. I would say India should also be banned for not taking seriously its process. Manipur is in a similar situation. Bro, if we go into those kind of things, I think 90% of the world couldn't be playing. Do you think the coach will decide it based on salary and budget and not on who will be right choice for the job? Manolo, yes, that's a fear. You know, the question at this moment in time is the AIFF in a situation to take a call, take a decision? Right. So that's a problem in my opinion, and let's wait and see where we go. Failure is fine. Things happen. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But when infrastructure is built for failure, then it's a problem. Clear waste of tax money. Where is the tax money? Nixon, I hear this a lot. Oh, this is taxpayer money. How much of taxpayer money is being spent in Indian football or in Indian sports? It's private money mainly. So to me, this whole discussion on taxpayers' money wasted and all that stuff. Yeah, but whose taxpayers' money? I mean, it's not your money. It's not my money. It's not anyone's money here. The money that's been wasted, I think Reliance should be asking questions that their money has been wasted over the last 15 years. 750 crores plus. Knowing AIFF, they will probably decide on cheap option for head coach position. That's a danger, Navneet, 100%. At this point, fans can do what the body who runs the sports is permitted. So what we can expect from players and others in return. Goku, fans need to ask questions, in my opinion. Right? So you need to ask. Yeah. Raghuvan attends almost all Indian national team matches. He simply is fed up of Indian football. Zurawa, you can be fed up, but you don't stop supporting. And if you don't understand that, as per my definition, if you don't understand that, nobody, you're not a football fan. And you are, sorry, a wannabe, whatever you want to, whoever wants to call it. The fact that we're all here today talking about Indian football means we're all true fans. This is the laws of Indian football. Trust me, we live football. Rohit, yes, maybe. But and I thank everybody who's here. But those who know me know that on these kind of things, I have a certain level of understanding. And yeah, I will not come down that. Chandra Sen is the front runner for national team job. Zarawa, that's been pushed by the media. I've heard other things. So let's wait and see that there's not even a conversation about it. Latvia has higher salaries, tough pressure, and good environment to play. Their clubs regularly compete in Europa Conference League. Moreover, the league that is within our reach. So why we can't go? Because they won't take us. I mean, it's a good question. ADIMX Lords. But why would they take an Indian footballer? Any idea when court will give a verdict? Uchut, earliest, sometimes next week. Come on, private money needs ROI. Nixon, where is the ROI of 750 crores that Reliance has given to the AIFF? What are you talking about? Where is the ROI of the money that Mr. Goenka, for example, has spent on Atletico de Kolkata, ATK and Mohun Bagan, ATK Mohun Bagan and Mohun Bagan Supergiant over the last 11 years? There is no ROI. It's private money. It's not government money. The government has cut down its support of Indian football to a bare minimum. Right? Fact, reality. Like if Supreme Court tells you have to run top league, FIFA probably sees it as third party rights, so we're going to get banned soon. Yeah, that's the reality. They are not fools, no product. this survives in free market. Nixon, we are in the free market. What are you talking about? How come some of the social media pages who all have applied for Indian national team post just speculation? Uchud, there are 2-3 ways of seeing this. Some are speculating, some have been told, some have been given hints. Yeah, let's wait and see. When Supreme Court result comes, but I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Like FIFA is very strict in their rules. They don't really care Supreme Court or anything. So the new constitution will be thrown out, and maybe a normalization committee comes in. Yeah, that's a possibility. Chobe brought Shachi. Now they are refusing to pay 2.5 crores of promised payment of broadcast deal. Yeah, one of the many problems. What is this with Sanjay Sen and other Indian coaches, PR man, seeing people on Twitter talking process when next 4 games will decide next 7 years of Indian football? Ayush, it's part, as I said, and again, yes, some of you have said it as well. It's part of the problem at this moment in time, no? Where we are. Every league in India except IPL doesn't have ROI. Manibal, very true. IPL and mostly some of these other T20 leagues. But yeah. People saying Reliance doesn't invest, look at the quality of their grassroots programs, Mizoram, Tamil Nadu. I don't think anybody can run programs like them. Yeah, look at the Reliance Foundation program also in Mumbai, the infrastructure they've built. Yeah, that's the reality. Yeah, that's why FSL is pulling back. They don't see ROI, they pull back. They're not pulling back because of the ROI. Nixon, who told you this? Who's telling you this, that they're pulling out because of ROI? They were willing to extend the contract. They have invested most probably over 3,000 crores without thinking. They could step back. They could have stepped back 5 years, 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago, but 5 years ago. 5, 6 years ago. So FSDL is not pulling back. They are willing to continue. Cricket in India was followed by rich and well-connected people with sports. That's why it survived, and cricket was forcefully fed to working class. Might be so, Hannibal. I don't know. I can't judge on that. Do you think Manisha has potential to play in any top leagues like Premier League or J League in future? Zaravar, Premier League, I think, is a long shot. I think maybe a better league in Europe, yes, but I don't think she's quality to play Premier League, Bundesliga, or the Spanish Liga Femina. I think she can play in the leagues below that. Small teams in France, like Sabitra Bhandari at Gangon, that is maybe something, but not. I don't see Premier League, Bundesliga, or Spanish League. Moreover, the OCI players are a jugaad to hide the insecurities of the system. If we need them, we could have done fast and earlier, but we're running at turtle speed. ADI MX Lords, it's not jugaad. You're talking to the person who first raised this topic of players of overseas Indians in 2001 with the AIFF. Spoken about this with the government as well over the years. Sadly, nothing has happened. But again, I've tried my bit, and it's on the government. The AIFF have wanted it. Yeah, let's see. Indian football is a circus, and everyone, the players, the federation, are making easy money from it, says SUT. Which money is used to pay prize money for women's football? The money from Reliance, the grants from FIFA, and the AFC. Otherwise, where would the money come from? Be it women's football, be it Indian football. Kerala is a big football state, but the government lets construct 5 new international cricket stadium. Okay, if that's the case, it's sad. How long if normalization committee comes in to sort it out, it's according to the issues, right? Brenner, it depends. Pakistan was running on a normalization committee. How many years? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? I don't even know. Long time, right? If ISL shuts down completely, what do you think will be the future Will I-League become the top league again, or will the proposed Air franchise league replace AIFF? I don't think anything's on this. Because the question to me is very simple. Can the AIFF, without the money in the system, can they run? Right? To me, that's the dangerous question to me. Can the AIFF run its system without the money of FCL? Again, for example, the plans presented regarding the women's game, we can quickly talk about them if you want to. 1 second, let me just check once what the AIFF published. I thought sensible, right? But who's going to fund it? Who's going to come forward and say, you know what? And I quote, 83 days of women's national team camp in 3 phases. Good. 10 to 12 international friendlies utilizing all FIFA windows. Very good. IWL 2025-2026, 8 teams, 14 matches each, September to Jan. Good time frame. India U20 women to participate in IWL. Also a good step. Each player to get 30 competitive matches, August to February. Yeah, good. Good. But on the other side, the danger is if you're going to play so many matches, is that maybe too much? That is a question that maybe the AIFF needs to think about. Hey, methamphetamine, I'm good. Really sad that it's now official that we're going to have a crisis in football calendar, especially when important matches on the line for both national team and clubs. Yes, very, very true. Don't you think Indian football team has started performing against ASEAN teams after they got their diaspora players? No. It has nothing to do with diaspora players. But our downfall is happening anyway. How do you see this crisis getting solved? Methamphetamine, the AIFF needs a new leadership, most probably. That's the only way that things will move forward. Football is the sport that once investment, government cut off, allowed the money less, is like choking death. Government will only give money when we perform better at world stage to perform in world. Government is blind. No, why they don't want to help? Who knows, maybe they think wonders will happen. Goku, I said this a few weeks ago in one of the lives, that this principle of coming and saying, you know what, I share a certain grant with the federation because you fulfill certain criteria. It's okay. But I don't do a general, I have to see what is the value of a sport in India, what is the value of a sport, and then hand out grants. But they will not do that. F is still AIFF, but just Priyanshu. Okay. The cricket stadium craze is very weirdly spread every month. New stadiums in UP, Bihar, Andhra, other states. Yeah, very weird, right? Acha, FSDL, AIFF per now bana raha hai. Priyanshu, it's not on FSDL, it's on AIFF and the Supreme Court. I think we've talked a lot about problems. Let's discuss probable solutions. HTC, there is no probable solution as long as there is no change in leadership, in my opinion. This leadership is not in a position to change things. Indian football as an enterprise has failed. Any other excuses? Just that the only way out is for Indian men's football to perform in big ticket tournament and catch some spectators. Nixon, that Indian football has been has failed, as an enterprise for 100+ years. It's never been a profitable enterprise reality. And it is not only on the senior national team, but even if it's again AIFF, state FAs, FSDL, I-League, the whole system, grassroots youth, the whole system. I'm sorry to mention the word jugaad, but when we can do it quickly because there are many and mapping them is no joke. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Yeah, but listen, OCIs, PIOs is something which I raised, again, as I said, 24 years ago, first time. My PIO card went to FIFA in 2006. So we could have done it way back. Indian origin Zach Shoaib signed for Real Sociedad. Yeah, former Arsenal academy player. Doing absolutely fine, sir. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing well. Yes, overall, Rachit, doing fine. Even if we allow OCI players, are they interested to play for under 33rd ranked India? Dani Bath is 34. Yondandas. One rest the top one is Lakshmikant, the best ones from top looks at outlook. They will. I've been in touch. I will be meeting some of them next week in London. Yeah. If FSDL stops funding AIFF, maybe AIFF will be able to convince government to start funding them. Remember, the government has never funded the AIFF. Let's come out of that the government is funding the AIFF. Before that, it was Z. Before that, it was others. The government gives you a little grant. Yeah, it makes no sense. Turn it into a profitable endeavor, make it self-sustainable. No saving. AIFF fans won't do it. FSDL won't do it. The government should not do it. Nixon turning into a profitable endeavor means that you have to invest and then it'll break even and then turn into a profitable endeavor, and we are far away from that. The ISL has failed on that. I go back to something that I said in front of Mrs. Ambani and others in August 2014. That we need to ensure that the quality on the field improves so that the marketing holds up. Zach Shoaib isn't Indian. His father is Nigerian, while his mother is Spanish with rumored Indian. He has an Indian grandmother. So yes, the mother's mother is Indian. Yeah, that's true. Does anybody have belief in the capability of organization of league after seeing I-League disasters organization? Come on, that's the other point. We need something negative after some positive. Indian football never disappoints us. Simon, hi, welcome back. Or rather, shall I say, the beauty of Indian football, man. At this point, I feel all eyes will be on court verdict in the coming week. Hopefully, my lords don't adjourn it and give out a final definite verdict. Let's see. Good evening, Simon. How can we change the leadership as a fan? Is there any standard procedure? SGT, no. Yeah. Anupam says we need football in clusters, hyper-local district, and then at regional level. A sport can only grow when locals are involved. More eyeballs, more money. ISL League is only good on papers. Anupam, hyper-local and district. I know that this is something which certain people have been saying, yes, but it's a nice idea, but we need that at grassroots at youth level, and on the other side, we need it at the amateur level. But I need something which is at the pro level as well, and that is something where you need an ISL at the top. Now the Meghalaya New Sports Stadium Complex told by Meghalaya CM to spend 300 crore. Kumar, yeah, Meghalaya has been spending quite a bit of money in the recent. I mean, if you look at the small things that they've done on the recent past, for example, they've redeveloped the Jawaharlal Nehru as a stadium, as a ground. So yeah, Meghalaya is doing stuff and spending money on their grassroots youth. Let's see. What the criteria should football wants to fulfill to get government support, winning Asian Cup for qualifying World Cup, to all of these things, we need first government support. Goku, the criteria is have to be already top 8 in your respective sport, and then you will get government support. We're far away from that. That's what I'm saying. The government's criteria are not the right criteria for a sport like football. For me, that's the biggest problem. Our criteria needed for football, for our sport, are different than for other sports. Right, nearly 1 hour or more than 1 hour 9 minutes, on the way of 1 hour 10 minutes. Just a quick reminder, those of you who are watching live or maybe even watching this afterwards, like, share this video. 26 likes. Thanks so much. I think we can do even better. We're at 2,761 subscribers. Thank you very much. Let's keep on growing the community, and let's keep on talking on Indian football. In India, only like this, or there are other countries who has this much problems. I've seen FIFA pronunciation in Indonesia, Kenya, Zimbabwe, etc. It's a very serious issue. It is a very serious issue. It's an embarrassment to your football if you put a normalization committee. Many coaches requested change in system, but AIFF had shut the coaches' mouth for good. What coaches request change? What the coaches need to question themselves before they question the AIFF. The coaches are part of our problem. Do you think focusing on Northeast is better than investing in Pan India? No. It is focusing on a region makes no sense in my opinion. You're into an OSA player you'll meet next week. Anwar, let's see if someone wants to speak or not. Again, I know these guys and some want to speak. Again, none of them actually want to speak in public. Sir, we are at a standstill. Either we are on the up or stagnate and go down from here. Right now, we are leaning very close towards the latter. Yeah, very true, Simon. Moreover, FIFA support, if we have a clear plan, when we'll come up with it. What is our plan? I mean, I myself worked on the plan of the roadmap for FIFA and the AFC. So the plan came from FIFA and the AFC rather than from India. Yeah, that's the reality. If we can't change the leadership, then it's time to wash my Omni van. SGT, it's very difficult, but you have to put the question, no? And, So the point is very, very simple. You have to question things. Now that you've told Tete Amar interview or podcast will come on the topic of Nopang League. Kumar, I said a Nopang League interview, but not on Tete, and the person who was supposed to speak to me about it has not been able to give me a time. The administration organization of the AIFF is on the hands of the Supreme Court totally. If they make a wrong move, then we're done for. Yeah. It is because they don't care about football, just want inequality to other sports. Don't know. Goku, I don't know. I know as much as you on this. Why the government does or doesn't do, I don't know. In my 7 years of schooling, playing football every day of it, never did an Indian football representative approach a school. What grassroots are we talking about? Nixon, have you ever thought it about the other way? That if you think that you are capable, that you should go to maybe to a club or to an academy to showcase your football skills? The structure of in our country doesn't exist. Right? Yes, we need ISL League only for progression. Progression is that reflects how far we have come. But have we 10 years of ISL? We have nothing to show for ISL is in question. Our league is in shambles. Yeah, Anupam. But that doesn't mean that it ends tomorrow, no? If the ISL shuts down and maybe a national level league doesn't happen, we are back to 1995, the pre-NFL era. I think that's something that we need to keep in mind. Fans wanted Indian referees, now want foreign ones. Asked to reduce foreign players, now want more as Indian salaries rise. And the real issue is constant flip-flops, not the system itself. What the fans want is nice, but those who run the game should know that they don't live of what the fans want. Anywhere in the world of sport, anywhere else in football. By the way, India was snubbed when bidding for Olympics. They told India to first improve infra, improve Olympic performance. Peace supporters are angry claim that IOC is doing that to defame Modi. However, the worst thing was the doping part. And I was sitting with someone the next day somewhere, and I was telling him India has gone to Lausanne to talk about their bidding process papers and all. And he works for a big sporting organization which is based in Lausanne. He didn't even know that India is bidding. So the inside story of 2036 within India and the story outside of India are two different things. Sad reality. And the second thing that has happened, which I realize and see, is we are not willing to work to be a better sporting nation. That is the main thing that the government should work on. Right? That's the challenge. Another why German Rheinmetall defense company came to India to manufacture in partnership with India to export from India to other countries for India also. Kumar, I have no clue what Rheinmetall does. Sorry, ask other people. Short-term game often results in long-term pain. Short-term pain often results in long-term gain. Remember this next time you need to make a choice. Charles Plasman. Yeah, football, nice. Football India, nice thing to say. But we don't have any short-term gains, and forget the long-term pain. We are not even having that, right? That we are willing not to take short-term pain for long-term gain. That is a given. But are we willing? Are we actually gaining something in the short term to have long-term pain? No. Man, there are secret agents working for him in AIFF office. Care. Even if you lose number of foreign players in the team, like two, whether be a foreign striker and playing them, Mogoko, yes. If you say you've got two foreigners, one centre back and one striker will be your foreigner, 100%. Do you think the best thing for us is to get banned and get some new normalization committee and sort it out? Yeah, I think at this stage, given the realities, ISL should be completely private tournament operated by a private entity. No, AIFF has lost trust. Nixon, the ISL is operated by a private entity. It is operated by FSDL. The AIFF only supplies referees. Everything else is in private hands. Honestly, I'm neither sad or happy with ISL on hold after that, or the qualifiers by overpaid. I don't want to see those faces. Anupam, I understand your feeling, but you should not forget that if the ISL tomorrow is gone, if Reliance is gone, the AIFF doesn't have the money to run the system. They will not be able to run a Santosh Trophy and the state championships. Forget club football. The core community of Indian football is very, very small in numbers and scattered in clusters. We're totally powerless to encourage the needed change. Yeah, very, very true, Sam. And I've been saying in public what I think what needs to be done, right? And we need to be clear what we want to do, but we're not there. India can't even manage things of national security imports. They're building fifth in fighter jets. Then how we will manage Olympics? Hannibal, that is not interconnected, right? Olympics and what you do, let's say in defense or the economy, all of that is not interconnected. We've had even very poor countries host Olympics, right? Greece was in a financial crisis when they hosted the Olympics. Did you have hope when Kalyan Chaubey was elected, or could Bachung have been better? What are other ex-players not coming up with leadership? SCT, no, didn't have any hope in Kalyan, to be very, very honest. I know Kalyan for 2 decades, so I know him a little bit. And Bachung, no. With all respect to Bhutia, as a friend, these people are not present material to me, and ex-players, no. I don't want ex-players to turn up. It is, if you are qualified to be, then let's talk about it. How would we work to improve ourselves when our Prime Minister was more focused to preserve his so-called Vishwaguru status? Delhi CM, we are ready for Olympics 26 August. Athletes die flooding. Let's see. What are views on the tweet today, Mr. Ranjit Bajaj? Divyanshu, it is very, very disturbing the way that he portrays it, to say that on the one side, but on the other side, has his influences on things in the AIFF been positive in the recent past? I don't think so. Right? So, yeah. By the way of contract with the AIFF. No, Nixon, not by way of contract with the AIFF. You know, the ISL as a league is run, organized, managed by FSDL, by Reliance. So it is a private league. The football culture is not here. It is evolving. No, then how can we get that number of player we are aiming and the talent pool? Gugu, the question is not about the talent pool. I think there is money in the system, but the money in the system needs to be spent wisely. Right? The salaries of the top players, forget the top players. The salaries of the mid-level players are also too high, right? And that's the biggest problem. But it's not been a problem for today. I said this 30 years ago when the NFL started. For the standard that Indian footballers play, they get too high salaries. I said that 29 years ago, right? But that level has exponentially grown over the last 3 decades. Moreover, there were many forwards who were to play against Hong Kong, but our striker was a wing-back. We have completely lost hope since Chaubey came. See, I have a small little different opinion on that. I think Ashik, to me, was most probably the best option we had at that moment. Or now, if we get banned, the normalization committee is mandated to stay for a certain period mandatorily, where the normalization committee will leave our conducting election fastly. Kumar, we'll have to see what they do, right? The problems are deeply rooted to the Indian mentality, culture, politics, and the lack of support knowledge. Yeah, that's also. Welcome, Devanshu. I'm feeling like, why do I play and discuss with you, sir? We need complete reform, but we can't do it. Yeah. ADI, MX laws, yes, 100%. We need, yeah. Let's see. At this point, it would be great if football at national level, ISL, League, and stops completely for a year, then we figure things out and move at twice the speed onwards with an actual vision to 2030. Anupam, sounds good. But that's a nice thought, but that is not going to happen. That is in what I would call in La La Land or Delulu Land, right? Then what stops the ISL? Nixon, the AIFF and FSDL have a contract, right? And if FSDL don't have a contract, they can't run the league because they're mandated to have that contract. How arrogant is Kalyan Chobe to not exercise the proposed bubble-like structure with no promotion relegation, with only financially stable clubs joining the league? Simon, it is not up to him, I think, at this moment. FIFA itself is so corrupted, how can I expect change here to kick out all in AIFF? Supreme Court does something, they ban us. What are we supposed to do? And this is the way people talk about, you know, FIFA has a system, a global system, you know. Not only FIFA, the International Olympic Committee has a system of how to run your sporting, you know, and either you follow it or you don't, you know. And if you think that the Supreme Court is the right body to decide on the fact of the structure of Indian sports, if you've listened to one or two hearings, if I was ever a judge or a justice, I would actually have put certain lawyers for lying for content of court into jail because they were lying in front of the Supreme Court, and they, because they don't know better, could not find that lies, false interpretation, you know. So that's the reality. Even the shareholding, stakeholding share was reasonable. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to go into your BJP Modi discussion, guys. It's, yeah. I say clubs buy these 19, 23-year-old players and make them sit for the whole season. How will they improve? It's very simple, you know. The players need to decide for themselves. Do I want to sit on the bench and earn the money, or do I want to play? And they take the money. Simple. We celebrate bronze medalists as gold medalists in this country. Manu Bhaskar was hyped way too much and affected her performance. And Simon, she started speaking about money, you know. You know, the problem is of reality from starting from the federation level, coaches, athletes, administrators, and fans. You know, like a striker wants to be a clinical finisher who can judge area balls or position himself any kind of moment. So a player like Ashik Mohammed is uncertain player as a striker, not great. Goku, to me, Manolo wanted to try out something and do something because he didn't have trust in the strikers he had. Right? And that's the reality. We all know since the idea of striker crash course, we can't believe him, even for Vision 20%. It's a very complex issue which can't be solved on a chat and a cup of tea. It could actually, if the right people were sitting on that chat and the cup of tea. There are 4 or 5 people who you could get together, talk about Indian football, and if you would follow it, then yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. At this point, I don't think AIFF is able to manage itself for getting Indian football. Nixon, it's not about AIFF managing itself. It is about there are certain rules and regulations which you have to follow, and make AIFF powerless. What? Then the system collapses. You understand that? So, what do you think of women's team? I am very, very happy that we qualified. And that's why I said 5th of July 2025, let's simply enjoy the day. Let's forget the rest about it. With a day like this today is what are we, where are we? Power should come with responsibility everywhere. I agree. We're in the padre now. We have so many people who want to do good and right by the footballer, but those at the top doesn't have the intent or the capability. Who are those many people who want to do good? I'll be devil's advocate on this, right? So, to me, a lot of people want to do good. Agree. Can they do good? Are they capable of doing good? So that's the reality. And after seeing heartbreak in Indian football now, there's no grief about Indian football mental. It is very good, not taking too much hard. Too much, too hard. Come on. It is up to you how you see it. I follow Indian football and I take things to heart. That's why I reacted like I reacted last Saturday. But hey, that's the way it is. Can you actually consider ourselves more competent for that post than Mr. Cho, with all due respect? I don't know, Simon. I don't know who you are in person. I don't know any one of you in person except Ochud. Ochud, I know, I can say yes. Ochud would be more competent in Kalyan Cho, but the rest of you, I don't know personally. So I don't know your characters. I don't know how your man management skills are on how you would put things together. I know that some of you followed Indian football, you understand football, yeah, but do I know you what you can do? Do you have the vision, the ideas of doing this? I can't say that. Who am I to judge that, right? I'll be honest about that. But it is, to run an AIFF is not as easy as people think it is. And some things, yes, are logical, some things need to happen, but otherwise it's very complex. A country where every day bridges collapse and roads are breaking for just light trains and so on. So, yeah. Is Kalyan Job still in US? I do not know. Yes, I understand. I'm okay with FIFA banning if we cannot bring general reform. Okay, Nixon. In an ideal world, leadership should have resigned by now. They should have never, in an ideal world, they should have never taken up the roles, because none of them were ever competent enough to be president or secretary of the AIFF. Again, the old AIFF under Praful Patel, under Kushal Das, under Shunanda Dhor, they ensured that the system ran, and the system survived, and then tried to build things here, there, and everywhere. Yeah. Honestly, ISL stopping is good. Players will be forced to go abroad, fun, and we can't go lower. No age group team, no future plan. I was watching ASL 15 matches. We don't even have a team. And where do you think our players will go abroad? Who will take our players? Simple question. Who will take? Why would anyone take our players? Right. Moreover, the leagues in 71 to 75 world global leagues rankings are reach of ISL ranks, but we choose comfort over development. See, all these statistical things like FIFA rankings, World Club rankings, league rankings, all of that is nice to see. But are those rankings real? Simple question. Another, how different is corporate minded football? It's totally different. And this is why are some of the best business people failures in sports? Ask Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who supposedly with successful businessman, why is he failing at the moment at Man United? Because football or sports is different. Your management skills in the corporate world have no value. Running any organization in India is difficult, more so if it's a sport organization where a lot of emotions are also very true. But some of these people don't understand even that the emotional part is very, very important. If ISL shuts down, looks like clubs like Interkashi too will shut shop. So it's a danger. As I said, if the ISL does not happen, it could lead to a trigger effect where up to 20, 25 clubs in an Indian football ecosystem will shut down. Right? That's the reality. So that's the reality. So to me, we need to be very, very clear what the future is, right? And this is the reality of how things are, if I like it or not. So yeah, sad but true. India FIFA rank has dropped to 134th, worst in Zava 133rd, but it is the worst in. Yes, but were we as good as we thought over the last 9 years? Were we as bad? Were we 172 when we were the point of discussion? This going abroad is a jugaad where Risi is so far away from going into a European team. We're trying to walk before crawl, and people think it's a good thing. People will go out. Yeah, I agree with you, Daniel. Why new proposed ownership is true or false? It's true, yeah. FSL wants to change the form. Any idea of real reason why Nikhil Aram was sacked? Yes, but I will not talk about it publicly. What do you think about next year's FIFA World Cup kickoff times? I was thinking about it, and late afternoon, evening kickoff will be very difficult from your TV. Yeah, it's a problem. You will have the same problems you have at this moment. I just answer now the same players who perform well in the ISFL team and basketball and national team. SGT, different level of football. Very simple. To your honest, India's actual ranking based on the infusion of diaspora players for other nations will be more than 180 below Bangladesh and Pakistan. I don't think so. We're not that bad. We are bad, but yeah. Shahrukh Sohail, who works in Pakistan football, said that Pak origin players like Olaseta, Alfie Whiteman, and Sonny Perkins don't even play for Pakistan because they don't look Pakistani or isn't 100% Pakistan. Hannibal, I don't know what Sohail is talking about, so I can't comment. Moreover, the coaches are AIFF level coaches, not AFC or FIFA level trained coaches. How can we trust them when other countries have AFC level coaches? We have AFC level coaches. Who's saying we don't? At least on paper, AFC B, A, and Pro, but the coaches are part of the problem. Agreed, ultimately, ideas and thinking can be done by anybody, but what requires skill is management execution. Simon, management is one. Execution is the more important part. Execution is the key DNA that I feel is needed for us to move forward. And then the reason why Nikolai was sacked but won't reveal it publicly. Okay. Interesting if you know. Yeah. And now the AIFF has adoption, then AIFF is still in the market. Kumar, do you see, honestly, do you see anyone interested in Indian football at the moment? How do you see the investment of our corporates in Cambodian league? Everybody with money in football interests are flocking there, and also players that through these partnerships. Anupam, these people have been destructive in the Indian football ecospace themselves, and now they're being praised for going abroad. What am I going to say? Investing in Cambodia. Going abroad doesn't mean playing Premier League, even 5th division in Europe better than Indian leagues, even Asian league like Japan 3rd division better than us in terms of whatever. Who's going to take us in a 50 amateur league? You can't play. Indian players, if they go abroad, have to play professionally. And 5th year is not professional abroad. Heard the Nepal head coach blasting his Nepali assistants who probably didn't know how to handle laptops and spreadsheets for analysis. Could be. Good night. I'm going to play FIFA. Bye-bye. SCT, bye to you. Yeah. So I was saying also good night. Yeah, 1 hour 35 minutes, 95 minutes of this life. I'll slowly come to an end tonight. Thanks once again for joining in. As always, fun to chat, talk Indian football, but it's a sad day that, so what to say? Hopefully today is not the end of the story of the ISL. Looks like it. So let's hope for the best, but looks difficult. Once more, reminder, like, share, subscribe, even if you're watching it afterwards, the relive, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on growing. Arunfoot here on YouTube, as I always say. Yeah, I need your support, guys, to grow this. Again, I've been saying what I've been saying. I need your support. We need your support. Indian football needs your support, and therefore, please do. You're welcome for taking your session, all your questions, guys. Good night, and do watch the short videos. As I said, I did something on the Bengal Super League. If it's done right, it could be something interesting for the districts in West Bengal. AIFF full support for the women's team. My emotional reaction, spread that one. I think that is one thing which I say, spread that one up. I need your support for that. And as always, don't stop support Indian football. That's my only request to all of you. Keep on supporting Indian football. Then it needs your support. It needs my support. It needs all our support. And ask critical questions. Thanks and good night.